Well, hello YouTube, and we're back at the Gabion Basket job we completed a year and a half ago now. So there's grass all up the drive, gate on obviously, everything's coming nicely, it's all weathered in. So still the same as the day they were done, just a bit more weathering on the stone. So I've had quite a few videos requests for this, so I thought I'd put one together for you showing you the finished result. Obviously they're all still nice and straight. I've had a few people asking for tips as well. One tip I can't stress enough is these little ties that we have all over the baskets holding the faces in. That is one of the biggest things I would stress with these, because when you're driving down motorways, anywhere like that that have baskets that are done industrially, they don't tend to have many of them in, and you tend to see a lot of sort of bulging or bowing of the baskets. Obviously with us having stone facing as well, we wanted to keep it all nice and straight, so it was like a proper wall basically. So that's one of my main tips. Another one is that what I did, instead of having multiple baskets and linking them together, so building an individual basket and then linking the two, I linked mine, so instead of having two dividing meshes, there's only one mesh in the middle. So you've got panel, panel, mesh, instead of having two separate baskets linked together. Obviously there is a video on the series that I did showing me building them, and I use this technique on that video. So like here you can see these two baskets are joined together, the middle wire is joined in with them. Same with everything else tops. So basically every basket is linked to the one next to it all in one go, rather than coming back and putting them together separately with ties. So that is another one of my main tips. Obviously it doesn't really matter, but it does reduce the cost. Some people prefer to do it the other way, but that's the way I prefer. Also when you come to the tops, if you are doing stone, try not to get higher, so leave yourself a bit of room, because when you do fold the baskets over, you can tend to bulge them over the tops. So obviously like here where we've joined two baskets, it's tied in with links all the way around. Another tip that I will give you is when filling the baskets. So obviously you've got your stone face. The way I did it, I probably did a third of the basket stone faced first and then backfilled. Now with my backfilling, I didn't just throw it in, leave it, put my tie wire in, start on the next lot. I actually placed all the stones once they were in the basket to make sure that we had no movement in the future, so there weren't as many hollow spots that could cause sinkage of the top of the basket. So that is, I found, quite important. Another one is the membrane behind the basket. Now I didn't show much of that in the video, if at all, but I used a woven membrane that was permeable, so it let the water through, but onto the soil, sand, grit, anything like that. So that's another important point with that, because you don't want that soil getting into your baskets, because you won't then get any drainage. It will then hold up water like a dam, and the baskets can end up failing. So that's another important one. Also, gravel behind the baskets can help. With this one we put the drainage underneath the baskets, because the baskets obviously will flow through, well, they'll allow the water to flow through, and that will then run into the drain and off down into the soakaway. So we didn't need to put the drain behind the wall because we use the wall as a drain on this job. But that is what I would suggest doing if you aren't sort of doing a drain under the baskets. So all these are still nice and square to the fencing, same as the day we put them in. That is basically due to a nice strong base underneath. I find with the base you want to put in a good maybe 8 to 10 inches of hardcore underneath, because this will then give you a nice solid foundation for the baskets. So even the half baskets have the same underneath. They may not be having as much weight, but you're still going to get a lot of movement as with any ground conditions. I mean, if you look here, this is holding back about, well, we're probably showing a quarter of the basket, so 3/4 of the basket is under the ground, being pushed against by all this soil. They're bringing tractors in, they're bringing everything in, heavy machinery. This holds it back because it has such a good base underneath that it can't move, which is key obviously to Gabion baskets, because movement equals failure. So now the base underneath, all the soil and everything we put back down. Another tip I would give is when putting the subsoil down and then the topsoil back on, every few inches, maybe every 4 to 6 inches, track it in with the digger, get it nice and compacted, because we didn't get much movement at all with the soil. There's been no extra soil put in, and after 1.5 years it's still the same as what it was originally. So we've had no soil wash off, we've had no sinkage, it's basically just stayed as was, and maintenance free basically, apart from a bit of mowing. So yeah, this is the job 1.5 years later, all weathered in nicely. So you'll remember this used to be the old drive coming in. So this is holding back 2 meters nearly of weight pushing from the vehicles. Obviously you get the vehicles driving over, pushing against this wall, and nothing has moved even millimeters, let alone anything else. So you get a better view of the wall from up here. So the customer's stuck with the gravel on top, which, as I said, going back to the whole putting in the stone by hand correctly and laying every single piece without any holes, you don't get any sinkage, so it's all one compact block, rather than if you just dumped it in, there'd be little voids and holes, and this gravel would just seep through and fall down through the gaps. So that's the job. And then also we did come back, put a drain under here, through here and back down the garden, off to the soakaway down at the bottom. And that's obviously dried everything out further. There is also a drain running under here along the back and down, and then obviously the drain running across and down all the way to the soakaway down in the bottom corner. So everything is very well weathered in now. The baskets, the shine's gone from them, so they don't look shiny anymore, they don't look like they've just been fitted. They could have been here 10 years, nobody would know the difference. So I will be doing another Gabion basket wall shortly. That one I will be doing full tutorial on and start to finish time lapses, so keep an eye out for that one. But if you do want to see the videos of the project that we did here, I will put a link to that at the end of the video, as I have a project pack on YouTube of that, and you'll be able to see it all the way through from start to finish, from excavation to what it is now. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos. Give us a comment if you have any questions, and I hope you enjoyed watching the series, enjoyed seeing the progress, and hopefully you'll stay tuned and watch the rest of the videos on the new project. Thank you very much.